What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Domantas. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is 3antozz. Game number 3 of this best of 5 series for the semifinals. Game point for Domantas. Can he convert here? We'll have to wait and see. The map is Gold Rush, and we are yet again seeing Poseidon versus Hades. These guys, looks like 3antozz is just happy with the matchup. He's happy with his game plan. He's been doing something very similar every game. He's been going for a little bit of military straight away, get himself the map control. Domantas has been going for the fast-second Townsend every game, giving away the map control. Is there another way to play this game here for 3antozz if this strategy doesn't work in the first 2 games? Does he have a third idea here? Personally, I really like the idea of a Poseidon player advancing. I believe it's 445, and you get yourself 3 Townsenders straight away. Don't get yourself Theseus. Don't get yourself Hippolyta straight away. Just get a villager out. Get yourself the first town center, get yourself the second town center. You can use ceasefire to get the town centers up if your opponent is going to be being aggressive. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Is he going to drop an... Does he drop it? I would just leave it. I would just come over here. Just eat the Aurochs. Call it a day. That's so upsetting for 3antozz here. Well, yeah, don't eat it. Just come over here. I'm just like sitting, looking at this in disbelief. I genuinely, I can't. There's so much hunt here. You just have to say, oh well. You literally just have to say, oh well. You can get a granary here a little bit later if you want and eat it because, I mean, the hunt goes down at something like 1 food every couple of seconds, maybe every 3 seconds you lose about 1 food. So you've got yourself a fair amount of time to come back and eat this a little bit later if you really want to, or at least wait until you have husbandry here. But, man, it's sad. It's sad. Sad for 3antozz. So we do see a temple coming up here for Domantas. We have Loggy in the house telling me that I actually knew something for once. I'm surprised I was so accurate on that one. It's a bit of a guess. It was a feeling guess. A feeling guess. So there's some Robust up here. Decent relic. It's around about equal to 20 food a minute per town center. So if you have 3 town centers, that's what, 60 food a minute. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Obviously, up until you have 80 villages. Well, after 80 villages, it's worth 0 food a minute. Yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at the map layout. It is Gold Rush. Obviously, the gold is all in the center of the map, which will mean aggressive orientated play here is going to be very, very key. But there's 2 gold mines in the main base. So the question here is, what strategy do you go to kind of punish this defensive orientated gameplay from Domantas? What do you do? Well, grab a town center for Poseidon, and then just stay 2 town centers and mass go for a 2 town center, 2 town center Artemis, and just try and get that gold staff. Last game it was working. He just had to get the gold staff. I do believe it's going to be working here for 3antozz as well, as we see yet again double stables coming down. Domantas will be spotting this straight away with the Katoskopos. And he's going to have to think, okay, what does he do? Hand axe, pickaxe coming through for Domantas. This is just a classical fight. This is a straight classical fight here for Domantas. Yes! We haven't seen this in a very long time. I absolutely love it. Classical fight action. Double stable here for 3antozz. Probably a bit of a mistake seeing what's coming for him. Because Domantas here can go Toxotes, Hippocon here and actually match really, really nicely. He's going for the military academy, which personally I don't like that decision all too much as the villagers retreating back home. Archery range coming up. The later advance here, plus the extra economic upgrades, will give Domantas a slight advantage in this game moving forward. But 3antozz has got access to the map right now. There is still hunt in the main base though, so it's, at the current present time, it doesn't matter. 3antozz's access to the map doesn't matter. As we see the hoplites coming in. Toxotes now coming in. Units searching around. The relic being ignored for the time being as 3antozz pushes forward, going straight after the Ajax. Good pullback micro there from that with that centaur away from the Chiron. Not going to be taking any damage on that one. As where's the Minotaur at? The Minotaur moving around the map, going to be searching for a little bit of a raid here. Every game thus far, Domantas' Minotaur has not gotten any value, so he's going to be sending that forward to try and find some villager kills here. As the Hippocon going to be trying to find their way through here. I love this house temple play, defending the wood line over here. Absolutely beautiful there. Oh, never mind. There's a gap here for no apparent reason. 3antozz sneaks through there with the Hippocon. Domantas going to have to put up a wall there or something. As he sends the villager over. Will he, or a house? Just a house in here. Wall segment is also fine. Probably could have been a house because he's at 45 population, but it's fine. As you see, pickaxe coming through for 3antozz. In the grand scheme of things, I vaguely recall hand axe for Greek not being ridiculously amazing. Might be 7.5% of an increase. I'm not sure, but there are 7 villagers on the wood, so it ends up being a decent assistance. That it's still open. Should have put a house there. And we see another wall segment. Yep. Is it not still open though? I don't know. Maybe it's good for a bait. I don't know. 3antozz retreating back. All the units out and about, checking out all of that hunt here. As the villagers now moving over onto the cows. 3antozz still able to eat all the hunt in his main base here. So he will be moving up onto the boar over here. He's got the boar over here as well. Good control of all the hunt on this map thus far. There's the 3antozz Hippocon. Toxotes. There's really not that many Toxotes here for 3antozz just yet. As 3antozz is throwing away a lot of HP. You really don't want to be doing that. Loses 1 Hippocon there and a ton of DPS onto those other 3 Hippocon. As he retreats back, every little bit counts in these 1 town center wars. It looks like 3antozz is actually gearing up to get himself a 2nd town center here as well. As we see Domantas doing exactly the same. Nice distraction here though with those Toxotes. As the Hippocon coming around onto this position as well. These units here also distracting, but Domantas, he's got that inkling and he sees exactly what's happening. As the Hippocon come around, they will be sniping 1 villager here. Nice snipe, retreating away. Villagers now moving up onto this position for 3antozz to grab himself his own 2nd town center. Part of me feels like if 3antozz had just kept massing units here, this town center wouldn't be able to get up. Think about it. 700 resources into units. It's around about 7 units. Maybe 8 units. Well, at least 8 Toxotes. If he had 8 Toxotes more than he's got right now, he'd be up at 100 population, basically, roughly, give or take. Never mind. He's lost a couple too many units here, but maybe not. Maybe like 90 population. Probably be able to win this fight and stop that town center. Yes, there is restoration, but you force the restoration. You keep the pressure going. You pick off some villagers. As Domantas gets the town center, casts sentinels, and gets access to these boars underneath this town center. And we'll see what the next plan is here in this game for 3antozz. As he's got the questions to answer in this matchup. He has not been finding himself the advantages here thus far. Domantas has been having all of the fun. As Domantas now moving up to the top side of the map here. Honestly, this is out of position right now for this army. But there is a little bit of an inkling here from 3antozz. As the Toxotes will spot this, the villagers retreat back. And the army of 3antozz now comes through, snipes a villager. He's going to be able to take out some Toxotes here as well. As Domantas not paying attention. 1, 2, well, 1 Hippocon goes down there, but 2, 3, maybe 4 no. But the villagers are back onto this position, going after those yet again. Nice raids thus far as Domantas only gets caught out of position there in his own base in a way, as opposed to his army. As 3antozz is still refusing to take these fights. I do wonder, I mean, he's obviously played this matchup a lot, so he probably has this feeling in the back of his mind that he's like, I can't actually fight the Hades army. That's got to be the feeling that he's got here. As the army coming up, we will be seeing 3antozz now retreating back as Toxotes getting caught out a little bit here by Domantas as we see them retreating back. It's 110 pop versus 113 population. The upgraded Toxotes are in as well. That's going to be a big help as the Catoscopus coming through, the Hippocon coming in as well. Domantas still pulling back as the army of 3antozz is going to get a little bit of damage done on the retreat path here. Domantas needs to decide whether or not to turn around and take this fight. It seems like he just wants to fight in the main base here. I feel like if 3antozz had pulled back a different way with those Hippocon, he probably could have gotten a surround and prevented those units from retreating and been in a really good spot. But unfortunately for him, Domantas does get out of there with only a little bit of a scratch. And now at this point, 3antozz for the first time in this series seems like he's actually in front in the villager count. As the villagers retreating back. And still, 3antozz looking for raids here. Now, personally, I don't mind raids if you know where to raid. If you know there's a place to raid, it's fine to go and raid that place. Hitting a temple here, taking the ship of the fingernails away, that's a good amount of damage done. But he's also losing a lot of damage on the front. The question really comes down the question to really ask yourself when you're going for the raid is it better for me to defend and prevent my buildings from going down, or try and hit that raid? And if you just don't know where to attack, things can be a little bit lackluster, as we do see the Hippocon now swinging it into this position. Domantas not making any reaction to this army movement. As the Hippocon come forward, the villagers are going to be retreating away. The Hippocon don't get that surround, but a lot of idle time being caused here by these Hippocon. Is he going to get any villager kills, though, as the villagers, they're just wandering away? One villager will go down here, most likely. 2, 3, 4 villagers go down. Nice play there from 3antozz, getting a 5th villager kill as well. It's a couple of hoplites coming back to defend. And now 3antozz has to retreat back as we see the army coming through onto this position. Domantas has got the resources to advance to the next age here as well. Does 3antozz have that? He's going up through Aphrodite as well. So both players going to be advancing. Advantage on this fight here is going through for Domantas as the villagers retreating back into the town center here as the Hippocon coming up onto this position. 3antozz simply just retreating into the town center, boosting that damage up at 30 damage per second times 2 in that town center. Would basically one hit or two hit a Toxotes. It's a really nice way to play. Good raid here from Domantas, utilizing those Toxotes up into the top position there as the Hippocon going to be moving up there to try and defend that. And after all is said and done, I think that 3antozz clicked up to Aphrodite first, but Domantas, he's got the advantage because 3antozz built an extra villager there on that one, it seems. The Toxotes getting some good damage done over here. The Hippocon coming up onto this position, going to be taking this fight. It's a very low HP Hippocon here that might just go down at any point. Great micro here, though, from 3antozz, dodging those that Toxotes fire nicely there. As Domantas hits that Heroic Age. 3antozz hits the Heroic Age as well. Curse getting dropped immediately here for both players. I imagine there'd be a bit of a retreat away. The Hippocon sitting idle on this position. Could go for a raid down on this position as well with those Hippocon if he so chooses. But after all is said and done, 3antozz here, he's got the villager advantage. He is behind in tech right now for some reason, though. Not tech, in resources right now. for some reason. As Domantas actually gets himself an immediate bow saw and shaft mine here. An interesting decision. I wouldn't mind seeing a fortress getting set up on that second gold mine or third gold mine, the expanded middle gold mine here, just to make sure you don't lose to any sort of weird timing push. As the Hippocon are making their way down here, going to be finding themselves some villagers on these boar. As he does come through, 10 villagers here going to be getting pushed off. They can turn around and take the fight. Lots of low HP Hippocon here, just going to get pushed off. Probably not going to get any villager kills there with that sort of decent reaction from Domantas. Sakaran gets sniped down. The Nemean line getting pushed back. The fortress will most likely be completed here, but I think Domantas kind of needs to turn around and take the fight to some degree as 3antozz gets himself the heavy archers first instead of a fortress. I'm not sure I like that. I think the fortress would be a better option here. But the heavy archers are going to be helping out nonetheless once they finish up. Domantas will get himself this location. It's a restoration, and that's kind of why I thought maybe the fortress is a better option, because these units just can keep pushing forward even with heavy archers, heavy cavalry. It's not that big of an advantage, as the Hippocon's still sitting on this location, defending the town center, making sure that doesn't come up. I think that Artemis here has got to be the option for 3antozz, and potentially also for Domantas as well. But Artemis against Poseidon is a little bit less good, because the Poseidon player is just going to spam military buildings and get a whole bunch of militia from them. As 3antozz chucking a stable up on this position. The Hippocon going to be retreating away. Third town center actually coming through for 3antozz. A bit of a surprise there. Heavy infantry, heavy archers coming through as well for the Domantas to try and compete with the heavy units of 3antozz here, fighting underneath a Hades fortress. Not necessarily the best idea here. We do see 3antozz decides to retreat back. As with all the villager advantage that 3antozz has got, he has managed to keep his resource lead. He's got the town center up, and he will be able to find his way to that Mythic Age first here, most likely. So a couple of units just going to hang on that town center, making sure that nothing comes through. I wouldn't mind seeing a villager just moving forward and dropping some stables down here. Domantas is continually moving back and forth, but he's really not getting the best of trades here in this game. You'd have to say. As copper mail coming through for Domantas, obviously this kind of shows that Domantas here, he knows how important holding this position is going to be, and I imagine he's not going to go for Hephaestus here. That's my guess. I'd be surprised to see Hephaestus after getting copper mail at that point there for Domantas, as we do see the villagers coming forward. The Hippocon are already on this position to say, no, not today. He puts a stop to that town center. We'll see if 3antozz actually recognizes he can take the villagers out or not, but the villagers there for Domantas are going to just retreat back. Irrigation coming through as well for Domantas. There's plenty of pigs over here that 3antozz can eat. He's still on the hunt and on the berries, delaying farms as much as he can. I really, really love that. The idea in Age of Mythology that I think the best players are aware of is that the longer you can delay farms, the more stuff you can get, the more advantages you can find yourself. But at this point here, what Domantas has managed to do is he's gotten himself just a handful of armory upgrades. And that is allowing him a huge advantage in these fights. As the Hippocon spot the villagers still on this position, pushing them back, as we do see a market up for Domantas on that position to potentially start a trade route. But that being said, with 3antozz being up 15 population, he is in front on the villager count as well, but being up 15 population kind of makes up for not having those upgrades. The way to think about an upgrade is roughly 10 Toxodi plus 1 line upgrade, or 1 row of armor upgrades is worth 2 population. Roughly. If you have 10 of that unit. I don't know. There's a marker getting taken down over here. 3antozz a little bit short on the gold. Does he have himself quarry? Doesn't even have shaft mine. No wonder. Definitely needs those upgrades. Well, shaft mine is coming through now. As I think 3antozz, he is making a really strong push here into the middle of the map. 3antozz has got to be really careful here not to get gold starved, as the units are going to be moving up onto this position as well. 3antozz at 1. I mean, the thing is that Domantas has got fortified town centers, so the upgrades plus fortified town centers means that this extra population that 3antozz has got really doesn't matter that much. And he is managing to make really short work of 3antozz in this game with those upgrades, making it look incredibly simple here. As the army is still flowing through onto this position. Potentially those Petropolis are a little bit of an overkill here. Having that many. Is he still building them? No. 3 Petropolis are going to be good to take down those buildings as the villagers on this position getting taken out. Quarry coming through for 3antozz as well, as the Hippocon coming back to try and deal with those raids there. And we do indeed see 3antozz having to click that ceasefire here. And that's going to be probably a cue for Domantas to wander up and just get himself the town center. And now Domantas has got the armory upgrades. He's got the villager lead here as well. And he's got the fortress. So he's completely secured here in this game. There's no way for 3antozz to win straight away here. He's going to have to find a different sort of advantage in this game moving forward. He's getting himself the Spirited Charge upgrade. Still no armory upgrades coming through. There's a military academy archery ranges coming up, everything coming up around on this map here. As the wall's getting completed for these Petropolis to just keep on keeping on, so to speak. As Domantas gets his town center, there's still boars around here as well. As Artemis gets clicked up as well for Domantas first here. As the army pushes in, gets straight onto those Toxotes. It's a decent fight here for 3antozz, given he's got all these units to take out the Toxotes of Domantas here. Manages to break through. We'll be able to take out those Petropolis really, really quickly. It's a lot of resources in those Petropolis. 350 resources to be exact. And take those down very, very quickly, but the army's still pushing 3antozz off of gold. 3antozz is kind of spread her out on the map now on different gold mines, so the one little raid doesn't do all too much. As 3antozz continuing to break through onto this position with Domantas going Mythic Age. It's a huge resource sink for a significant amount of time, and 3antozz has taken the advantage here to break through while those resources are slowly getting converted into an actual tangible thing you can use in Earthquake. As this gold mine is almost expired as well, the units over on this position here for Domantas is definitely going to be wanting to get himself a whole bunch of extra gold, and he's got all of the favor coming through. Does he have a temple? He does have a temple on the front, so we've got all this favor here to build himself Chimera as well. We'll see how those are going to go here in this game. Obviously, villager raids are going to be very, very useful, but also taking out the enemy units is going to be also very, very useful. There's the Mythic Age. There's the Earthquake. Chiron sacrificed. Town center goes down. Chimera pops out. Domantas retreats back. And he's going to be able to start dealing with these units. Nice choke point here for Domantas, but those Hippocon, they're still very, very strong here. There's the Chimera getting sent directly on to the gold of 3antozz, continuing to keep 3antozz's gold very low. The damage it does. Jeepers. As the villagers retreat back, this gold mine, no one on that gold, no one on this gold. There's actually no gold income right now for 3antozz. Just putting everything into getting this town center back up. But is that going to give Domantas the time he needs to get the gold starve completed here? And I guess the answer is yes. Oh, golly, that was an end to the game. I guess the answer is yes. He gets his town center back up, but how does he compete with the 22 Toxotes that Domantas has here with 0 gold And then I guess you can sell some food. You can sell some wood to get yourself back up to population. Does he even have a market up? Yes, he does. So he could have done that. But then the catch-up is just so tough. And 3antozz, I guess, after all is said and done, the mental just not quite there at the end of this game to continue after some very, very tough losses in this semi-final. Congratulations to Domantas in this semi-finals with a sweep here, going on to the finals to take on the winner of semi-final number 1. Go and check that one out if you haven't seen it. An incredibly great series there. But well done to Domantas. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider to follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.